podcasting's choice. From coast to coast, continent to continent, right here 24/7.
PNR.
Now entering the PNRNetworks arena, coming down the aisle from Revere, Massachusetts, weighing in at absolutely none of your business. It's the mistress of mayhem, the queen of quips. It's time for Ring Around the Rosie with your hostess, Kim Brown.
Hi guys, welcome to another week here on Ring Around the Rosie. I'm Kim Brown, aka Platinum Rose Lady, aka your host, aka the twit in front of the microphone, talking to you right now. It is Wednesday, August 15th, 2018. I am so sorry. I have been away from you guys. I've missed you. I missed talking with you. But I got sick. I got a summer cold, which is par for the course with me. I always seem to pick up a bug in the summertime. And the thing is, it wasn't just a cold. It was a cold and a sinus infection. So that was fun at the same time. It was just a lot of, hacking and wheezing and coughing. And when I could talk, when I actually had a voice, it sounded like I'd swallowed a squeaky toy, so that obviously wasn't going to do for doing the show. So I had to take a little enforced time off, but I'm back. Boy, it is summer in New England, which is just, I'm serious. I hate hot weather. I hate it. I am definitely a fall, winter person. I am not a spring, summer person at all. And then you get these people that are like, oh, hot enough for you? And I'm always, I don't even bother answering people like that. I just stare at them. I don't blink. I don't move. I just stare at them. And they either go away or they're kind of like, oh, I'm sorry. And then I might say like, you fucking well should be. But anyway, so I hope everybody's having a great summer. Some people are already back to school. I mean, I've heard about this in some places. Their kids are back in school now, or they're about to be back in school. And I'm like, what? We went back to school after Labor Day, and that was it. But now some places start school like wicked early, and that just freaks me out. That just completely floors me. But if you are back in school, study hard, and one day you too can work at a 9-to-5 job. No, I'm sorry. No, whatever you want to do with your life, pursue your dreams, pursue them with gusto, and don't let anybody stand in your way or tell you you can't do it, because you can, because I believe in you for all that's worth. We have to start the show with a little bit of a downer note. We have to say goodbye to someone that was definitely a legend and definitely someone that was part of my wrestling, my introduction to wrestling when I was younger. Jim the Anvil Neidhart passed away on August 13th from complications of a fall. He was 63 years old. He leaves behind a wife and 3 children, one of them being Natalie, who goes by Natalia in the WWE. Jim was a member of the Hart Foundation, first as the tag team, the Hart Foundation, with Bret the Hitman Hart, with whom he had an incredible feud with the British Bulldogs at one point, with whom he was also a multiple-time tag team champion, twice with Bret Hart. He was part of the later version of the Hart Foundation that was, a heel faction and such, and feuding with Steve Austin, who was the most unlikely face on the planet. Jim has worked for ECW, WCW, WWF. He'd been pretty much everywhere and done everything, and was definitely one of those people that when you think about wrestling from the 80s, you have to bring up the Hart Foundation as a team, the Hitman and the Anvil, and they were really something to see. I mean, you had Brett, who was more of the technical wrestler, and Jim, who, I mean, you don't get a nickname like the Anvil by being subtle, you just don't. And he had that, that goatee beard thing happening, and that laugh that I don't know what you'd call that laugh, and I guess it was a heck of a moo-ha-ha. I would definitely call it like a moo-ha-ha evil laugh kind of thing. I don't know if he worked on that or if that was like a natural thing or what, but it was definitely something to see. I saw him wrestle a few times as part of the tag team of the Hart Foundation. I do have kind of an interesting story to tell. I went to a house show. It was a WWF house show. Honest to blog, I cannot think what town it was in. Yeah, and it was a small show. It was held in, I want to say it was held in a school. It was held in a gym at a school. And there was a match with the Hart Foundation going, I want to say against the British Bulldogs, but I honestly don't recall. And they were the heel team, and they were getting the living crap booed out of them by, the kids. They were all like, yelling at them and screaming at them and stuff like that. And this was not a place that had like security with, barriers and things up. And they just, the wrestlers walked to the ring and walked out, and, kids touched them on the shoulder and patted their backs and stuff like that. After they were leaving the ring after the match, the kids were following them, and the kids includes me. I was, following along with everybody else, and there was a lot of cat calling and booing and stuff like that. And then some genius, I would like to stress it was not me, because my mom raised me to be a lady, and my aim sucks. Somebody behind me threw a rolled up poster, and it went sailing through the air, and it bonked Jim on the back of the head. And I mean, I can't say it would have hurt him. I'm sure it startled him. He spun around. He roared. I mean, I've never heard a human being make a sound like this. He spun around roaring and just flailing one huge fist just in a circle. And the kids just scattered. Everybody just went pew. I pressed myself up against as far as I could into a wall, clutching a hold of my hems, cause I was like, oh crap, oh shit, oh they're both still there, oh good, cause that's where I almost got punched, folks. But it was, that was an adrenaline charged moment for sure, cause I had just got them and I was pretty proud of them at that point. I don't think I really need to go into what I'm talking about, do I? But he was just one of those people that, you heard about him for a long time, and you saw him on a lot of, older tapes and stuff like that. And he had some problems in later years, but, everybody does. Everybody has their things they have to deal with. I definitely know he will be missed by his family and friends, and I send out the deepest sympathies to his spouse and to his children and to the people that knew him and loved him best. I know they will miss him a lot. I know wrestling fans will miss him a lot. And I hope he's somewhere looking down on us and hearing us talk about him and hearing us say all these good things. So rest in power, Jim. Okay, moving on to obviously the big deal over the weekend, according to some people, which is this coming Sunday, which is SummerSlam, which is coming from the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. Oh boy. Now I, being a person from the great and glorious state of Massachusetts, I could sit here and we could go into the whole, the whole Boston, New York thing. I mean, I live outside of Boston, but, everybody from Massachusetts looks at Boston and says, that's my city and stuff like that. This is our fucking town, that kind of a thing. And Boston and New York have this whole thing, I don't know how to say it and not, I don't want to sound insulting and I don't want to sound unkind, but, you can definitely tell. I will say one thing for fans from New York. They are very passionate. And I think I will leave it right there. I will just put that there and I will walk away from it. So we'll just moving on. Talking about the show and talking about the many matches on the show. It's a really full card. Although some things are supposed to be taking place on the pre-show. And of course, who knows what can happen between now and then. People can get injured. We hope not. Something terrible could happen. We hope not. Something wonderful could happen. We would, that's obviously would be a good thing, but I can't think of what it would be. But, so far on the pre-show, we will have the B team of Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas, who are the Raw Tag Team Champions, and I still don't know what we've done to deserve this. Going against the Revival, which is Dash Wilder and Scott Dawson. I don't know what we've done to deserve this match, but we've apparently done something bad because we're being punished. I think that the B team are probably going to keep the belts because for some reason they seem to think that this is working. I don't know. Also on the pre-show is a mixed tag team match of Rusev and Lana going against Andrade, Cien Almas, and Zelina Vega. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I really want Rusev and Lana to win this match. What I would really like most of all would be Rusev to grab Zelina by the hair and toss her into the 5th row. But because there are shareholders to answer to, we don't do things like that anymore. So I don't get what I want. The pre-show will also have, the singles match for the Cruiserweight Championship with the champion Cedric Alexander going against Drew Gulak. I'm hoping Cedric keeps the belt. I like Cedric. I think he's really great. Gulak's whole, no flying, and it's all about being a mat wrestler and all about being totally boring. I mean, I guess that's entertaining for somebody, I guess. I don't know. But I do hope Cedric keeps the belt. Now, going on to the main show, I'm not sure the order of the matches, but we'll just run with this. Obviously, a match I know a lot of people are looking forward to, Daniel Bryan versus The Miz. They have a storied history, which they went into this week on SmackDown, in a really good piece that they paced out over the evening. I don't know. They need to I think that they should keep this feud going. How long they should keep it going? I mean, to be perfectly honest, see, my thing is, I remember a time, and I'm totally dating myself here, I know. I remember a time when feuds went on for years. People had feuds for years. And then you had the big match at the end of the feud that was like the last match ever between this person and that person, So I think this could go on for a little while longer. I mean, I would enjoy that, but I'm not sure about the short attention span of most people. I mean, I usually have a short attention span. I admit that. But I'd like to see more matches with the two of them. I would personally like to see them just fight. I'd like to, this is going to sound bananas, and I admit it. I would like to see them fight to a draw and then just keep fighting until it takes like 90 refs to pull them apart. Either that, or I would like to see one of them win, whichever one wins, and then the decision gets reversed because they just won't stop kicking the shit out of the other guy. I think that would be interesting, and I think that would keep things going. I don't know. Just my opinion. Finn Balor is facing Baron Corbin in a match as well. This feud continues with Baron Corbin's whole, I'm a big tall guy and you're like a little guy and I'm better than you because I'm a big tall guy. And apparently someone never clued Corbin into, size really doesn't matter. I mean, look at Finn and look at Baron Corbin. Come on. Come on. Really? Definitely, I'm definitely backing Finn here. I'd like to see this feud go on for a while as well, simply because I enjoy watching Finn Balor humiliate Baron Corbin, because Baron Corbin right now with his job as Stephanie's biatch is, it's entertaining and it really makes me hate him as the bad guy. So, I like watching Finn, show him up, and any chance I get to see Finn Balor smile. Finn Balor has a smile that could stop traffic. I'm not kidding. In a match for the United States Championship, we have champion Shinsuke Nakamura going against Jeff Hardy. And who thinks Randy Orton's going to get involved in this match? If you think he is, give yourself a cookie, because that's probably going to happen. It's probably going to wind up with him interfering somehow and making sure Jeff does not win the match, because for some reason Randy's got this whole stalker mentality thing happening, and I don't get it, and it's kind of disturbing, but what do I know? If it was up to, I'm not the person that went, hey Jeff, why don't you go out there with those things on your eyes and completely freak everybody out? I mean, I know Jeff Hardy marches, to the beat of his own band. I mean, some people have that old saying, someone marches to the beat of their own drum. Jeff Hardy's like, fuck that, I have my own marching band, and that's cool. That's cool. I think Jeff's awesome. Moving forward, we have a triple threat for the WWE SmackDown Women's Championship with the champion Carmella, going against Becky Lynch, going against Charlotte Flair. I don't know how I feel about this. I feel uncomfortable. I have this uncomfortable feeling somebody is going to turn heel in this. Charlotte's been a heel before, and we know she does a good job at it. I don't want to see the whole, the friendship gets torn apart by the belt thing again. And I am just so friggin' sick of Carmella winning by cheating. It's like, okay, every once in a while it's fine, but over and over and over again, it's like, fuck, guys. Could you give us something new, please? What I'd really like to see happen is have Carmella almost win, and then have Asuka come out and fuck her out of the belt, and make sure one of the other ladies win it. That would be cool. The WWE Intercontinental Championship is on the line with Dolph Ziggler, the champion, with Drew McIntyre in his corner. I'm sorry. Oops, I'm sorry. Did I do that out loud? I'm sorry. Going against Seth Rollins, who is going to have somebody in his corner, and that someone is the returned Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose came back on Monday night with shorter hair. That screaming noise you heard Monday night, yeah, that might have been me. Although I gotta say, Dean, seriously, loving the arms there, buddy. Wow, you can tell he really worked out during the time that he was on medical leave and such. Although to be honest with y'all, this match also has me feeling a little bit antsy, because there's been a lot of people online, there's been a lot of people on Twitter and all these other places talking about, they want to see Dean Ambrose turn heel, or they think Dean Ambrose is going to turn heel, and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, no, I don't want him to turn heel. I don't want him to turn on Seth. I know we're never probably going to get the Shield back the way we did at one point, but let me have something, damn it. Let me have just a little bit of something. Can't I have a little happiness? I think Dolph's going to wind up keeping the belt through some fuckery from Drew McIntyre, or, some kind of miscommunication between Seth and Dean or something. I don't know yet. In a match that's going to have Braun Strowman going against Kevin Owens, with a special stipulation in the fact that if Braun loses the match by pinfall, by disqualification, by countout, I'd say by submission, but I don't think I could do it with a straight face. He will lose his Money in the Bank contract to Kevin Owens. That would suck. I don't know how this is going to go. I mean, watching Braun take Kevin apart the last couple of months has been really fun. I've enjoyed it. But then again, I have a slightly sadistic sense of humor. I don't know. I don't know how this is going to go. I'm really not sure. The SmackDown Tag Team Championship is on the line at SummerSlam with the champions, the Bludgeon Brothers, a.k.a. the big scary guys with hammers, going against the New Day, a.k.a. the fun guys with pancakes, but no syrup. Still don't know how you can have pancakes without syrup, man. That's un-American. I don't know who's going to be in the match, whether it's going to be Big E, Kofi Kingston, or Xavier Woods. They haven't said yet, so we'll have to wait and see. If it was me, I definitely would put Big E in there since he's, big and strong and stuff like that, and the Bludgeon Brothers are kind of scary looking. If this match actually happens without a run-in from Sanity, I will be really friggin' surprised, I gotta tell you. Also on the card is the match for the WWE Championship with champion AJ Styles going against Samoa Joe. I really want AJ to pull this off because Samoa Joe's just pissing me the fuck off. Just pissing me off. And I don't like his attitude. And he just irritates me. So there. In the singles match for the WWE Raw Women's Championship, Alexa Bliss, the champion, is going against Ronda Rousey. I would love Ronda Rousey to just beat the living holy fuck snot out of Alexa. I don't really care if she gets the belt or not. I'll be perfectly honest, I don't care. I just want her to turn Alexa into a pretzel and bounce her around the ring a couple of times and then toss her on her head and then snap her arms. Because other than Roman Reigns coming down to the ring in a Speedo, that'll be the only thing in the whole night that will make me happy, is Ronda Rousey beating the absolute fucking frog snot out of Alexa Bliss. I do see Alexa keeping the belt, to be perfectly honest. I think putting the belt on Ronda this early, I don't know how smart that would be. Which brings us to what we're assuming is going to be the main event of the evening for the WWE Universal Championship. I don't know how something can be a Universal Championship when it's defended on one planet, but I digress. With the champion Brock Lesnar going against Roman Reigns. Now, it goes without saying that I want Roman Reigns to win this match. For a number of reasons. And I know some people will be like, well, you only want Roman Reigns to win because you think he's hot. Well, that's not the only reason. It's one of the reasons. Because I do think Roman Reigns is sexy. I think he's good on the mic when you let him just be himself. I think that he is a better example of a champion than Brock Lesnar. I think that Brock Lesnar is a bully. I think Brock Lesnar is a shit example of a champion. I think Brock Lesnar is a jerk, basically. I think Brock Lesnar is a coward because of what happened this week on Raw. And I think that Roman Reigns should spear him out of his shoes. Do I think any of that stuff's going to happen? Probably not, since everybody knows that Brock has re-signed with the WWE for I don't know how much money, and nor do I think he earns it. But, what do I know? I'm not the person signing the checks. So, there might be some other things on the pre-show, including a match. I think there might be a match with Bayley and Sasha Banks going against the Riot Squad, possibly, I think. I want to see those two stay together. I like Bayley and Sasha as a team and as friends. The whole, we're not going to be friends anymore and all that stuff. I just didn't like that. It just, but we'll have to wait and see what happens at SummerSlam. Are you guys excited about SummerSlam? Do you want, who do you want to see win? What do you want to see happen? If you want to send me an email and let me know your opinions and such and what you think of my opinions, if you think I'm all full of it or whatever, platinumroselle@yahoo.com. I will definitely read your letter, and I'd really love to know your opinions about the upcoming shows and stuff. Considering that the last pay-per-view, I didn't do a review for, obviously, because I was sick, and the last WWE pay-per-view sucked llama dick. It was absolutely terrible. So, going forward, we are just going to take a looky-loo back at this week in WWE. On Monday, August 13th, the WWE Monday Night Raw came from Greensboro, North Carolina, at the Greensboro Coliseum, which I've never been to, but I'm sure it's a lovely place. The show started with a nice tribute from Ronda Rousey to Jim the Anvil Neidhart. She is friends with Natalya, and obviously Natalya, being devastated at the loss of her father. That's definitely, I thought that was a really, cool thing to do. With her, sending Natalya a message of, strength and that we all love her and stuff like that. And I thought that was really nice. I thought that was really cool. Following that, we had a match with Ember Moon going against Alexa Bliss via disqualification. Alexa came down to the ring with a whole bunch of bodyguards trying to antagonize Ronda. Also had Alicia Fox with her. Ember wound up winning the match by disqualification. Ronda wound up kicking the fucking shit out of a bunch of male security guards, who should feel no shame in the fact that they were beaten up by a woman, because that woman is Ronda Rousey, and she could probably beat up most men. To be perfectly honest, I don't really think there's too many people she couldn't beat up if she just felt like it, because, fuck it, I'm scared of her, I admit that. The next match was Baron Corbin going against Tyler Breeze. The whole thing of Corbin as Stephanie's constable, blah, blah, bitch, spy, snitch, however else you want to word it. I really didn't know that this was going to work with Corbin, because his whole, the whole thing that he had before, the whole character he had before, the whole, grr, I'm the lone wolf and I'm all tough and all that shit. Now he's like this little suck-up kiss ass, and it works. Weirdly enough, it works. I don't get it. Corbin announced that the next match was going to be, with Finn Balor teaming up with Braun Strowman going against Kevin Owens and Jinder Mahal. Other than trying to soften up his opponent for this weekend, I guess, I don't really know what that proved. Other than the fact that Braun Strowman and Finn Balor, are actually pretty good at being a team. What would you call that team? A Finn and Braun. What would you, I have a couple of ideas, Beauty and the Beast. I would like to say to Mr. Strowman that was not meant as an insult. I do think you know which part of the team you are, though. Sorry. Following that, we had Elias, who's doing his whole thing. And he was supposed to be facing a man named Ricky Roberts, whose whole thing came out that, he was going to be like Elias and like the whole stars in his eyes kind of a thing, blah, blah. And this person decided to make the brilliant decision to attack Bobby Lashley. Cause that seemed like a smart thing to, actually it wasn't, because Lashley completely wiped the floor with him. The next match of the evening was the Raw Tag Team Champions, the B Team, going against Woken, Matt Hardy, and Bray Wyatt, and the Revival. So, the Tag Team Champions winning over the two other teams, which we can't have nice things. I don't know. Following that was one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen in my life, when Paul Heyman came out to the ring, was in the ring with Roman Reigns, and talking with him, and just talking at him, because you don't talk with Paul, you just kind of talk. He talks, and you usually tend to have to listen because he's usually got the microphone. But the thing was that it wasn't it was a to quote Admiral Akbar, it's a trap. Because Heyman pepper sprayed Roman in the face, and once he had incapacitated Roman by spraying a caustic substance in his eyes, out comes the Universal Champion to show how low his balls hang by attacking a man who can't see. Wow, Brock Lesnar, if I ever had a son, I'd want him to grow up and be just like you. Not. Oh man, I'm sorry. Please, Roman, deliver us from this jerk this Sunday, please. I'm serious. The next match was a 6-man tag team of Bobby Roode and Titus Worldwide, which consists of Titus O'Neil and Apollo Crews, going against Mojo Rawley and the Authors of Pain. I'm sorry, I didn't say Dana Brooke was in the corner of Titus Worldwide. Sorry, Dana. Yeah, because Mojo Rawley and the Authors of Pain have a lot in common, other than the fact that they all seem like they're perpetually pissed off. You know, it's like, have a Snickers or something. Line the fuck up. The team of Bobby Roode and Titus Worldwide won over Mojo and the Authors of Pain. Big surprise there. The ladies were up next with Ruby Riott going against Sasha Banks, which, of course, turned into a complete mess with the other members of the Riott Squad getting involved and Bayley getting involved. And the whole thing ended with Ruby Riott winning over Sasha Banks. Yippee. Now, all evening long, Seth Rollins had not been at the building because of travel issues and Dolph Ziggler being a complete dickwad about the whole thing, and Drew McIntyre just standing there being a silent bitch about the whole thing, I guess. I don't know. When Seth finally did come down to the ring to confront the two of them, he had somebody with him. And that somebody was the lunatic fringe, Dean Ambrose. And that turned into a big old Donnybrook, which is what we all wanted, to be perfectly honest with you. As I mentioned, Dean has cut his hair. And that was a bit of a, what the fuck? I was like, okay, he slicked it back, right? He slicked it back. It's just slicked back with water, right? It's not slicked back. Motherfucker. I'm sorry. I got a thing for long hair. I do. I admit it. You know, glam rock girl from the 80s. I can't help it. But Dean looked great. He looked fantastic. He looked ready. He looked so ready. I mean, good grief. Man, you see that guy's arms? Holy fuck. That's the Second Amendment. That's the right to bear arms right there, man. Wow. So that ended up the show on a crazy note, which is obviously a great thing. Another great thing that happened on this past Raw was the inclusion on the broadcast table of somebody new, and that would be the lovely and talented Renee Young, who was out giving commentary and giving her view of things and shutting Corey Graves down at every opportunity. Yay! That's a definite. Every 5 seconds, I'm like, you go, girl. Yeah, I want Renee on the table all the time. I want Renee on the commentator table all the time. I don't care who else has to go, Corey Graves. But I want her there all the time because she's fucking awesome. That brings us to last evening, the SmackDown live show, which was from the Bon Secours, I hope I said that even close to correct, Wellness Arena in Greenville, South Carolina. And we begin the show with a face-off of the ladies with Carmella, Charlotte Flair, and Becky Lynch having a little face-to-face time in the ring. That was uncomfortable. And it also led to a match that was coming up next, which was Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch going against Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, with Charlotte and Becky getting the win there. Following that, we had the Bludgeon Brothers who were supposed to be, going against 3 people from the Greenville area known as the Triple Threat. That didn't actually happen. Yeah, because, Belden, Ring, Harper, and Rowan just came out there and said, you know what, we're just going to kick the shit out of them and call it a night. And, who's going to tell them they can't? Following that was a match with the New Day going against Sanity. So you've got 3 really handsome, athletic, talented, really awesome guys that are great on the mic and great in the ring. And then you have Sanity, who are terrific wrestlers in their own right and who are, really interesting and intense on the mic and also look like the kind of people that you would think of being like living out in the woods preparing for the end of the world or something. I mean, to each their own, but sorry, if I saw those dudes walking down the street, I'd go to the other side of the street. Seriously, not making it up. The New Day out there with their power of positivity, of course, and the fact that yesterday was Kofi Kingston's birthday, which was super duper exciting. Happy birthday to Kofi, a day late. And the match was won by the New Day, which I was like, okay, that's good to know going into SummerSlam this weekend. Aiden English had a match against Andrade Cien Almas. Aiden's been kind of, lately Aiden helping Rusev is one of those kind of, you want to help me, don't help me kind of situations. Seriously. Unfortunately, Aiden lost the match, which meant that Andrade and Zelena had time to get on the mic and talk. And talk, and talk. Did I mention talk? Please, Rusev and Lana, shut these 2 up. And, I can't believe I have to say that. Oh, that sticks in my throat so badly. The next match involved Jeff Hardy going against Shelton Benjamin. Terrific match from both of these guys, as always. Unfortunately, after the match was done, Shinsuke Nakamura's music started, and Shinsuke attempted to do a sneak attack on Jeff with a Kinshasa. Also, with Randy Orton standing there being his whole, I'm Randy Orton and I'm the Viper and I'm crazy and all that crap. I'm sorry. It's kind of like, dude, you're a dick. You're just a dick. I mean, and the way you're like stalking Jeff, I mean, dude, it's coming off a little, it's like, okay, you like want to like take the guy's makeup off and, take him, take his earrings out and to strip his jewelry off and all this stuff like that. It's like, Randy, is there something you'd like to share with the rest of the class? I mean, it's like, okay, buddy, it's like, all right, and I'm sorry, my whole thing was, you know how long it takes him to get on that makeup, bitch? And you go and wipe it off? Dickweed. You couldn't put that makeup on half as well as Jeff does. Following that up was the most uncomfortable moment of the entire show with AJ Styles coming down to the ring to talk about his match against Samoa Joe this Sunday, talking about his promise that he was going to, this promise that he had made to his wife that he wasn't going to let Joe's darkness and Joe's mind games fuck with him. Unfortunately, Samoa Joe had other ideas and showed up and had a letter with him that he read out loud. The letter saying that, basically saying that AJ never wanted he never wanted to have kids, he never wanted to have a wife, and that the reason that he wants to be champion and the reason that he does all the things that he does for the WWE universe is so he can not have to spend time at home with his wife and kids. And Joe saying that the letter came from AJ Styles' wife. Basically, the letter, at the end of the letter saying that the person who wrote the letter hoped that AJ would get beaten so he'd know what loss felt like. And Joe saying that the letter was written, as I mentioned, by AJ's wife. Okay, this is 900 levels of not cool. I don't know about everybody else out there, but everybody has their own inner whatever. You know, people talk about their inner child or their inner fighter or their inner whatever. And I have a lot of inner things. I have my inner Klingon. It's the one thing that I really am famous for in my group of friends. This whole thing really kicked up my inner Klingon because my whole thing is if you are going to fight a man, you fight the man. Just the man. You don't bring the man's family into it. Because the thing is, when you do that, it shows how scared you are, that you have to fuck with somebody's head. All that tells me is that inside, Joe, you're the one that has issues. You're the one with the problem. You're the one that's scared that when push comes to shove, you can't get it up. You know, that's just my take on it for what it's worth. But seriously, my whole thing is if you're going to fight a man, like I said, you fight the man. You don't go after the man's family. Because the thing is, when you do that, one of two things happens when you go after a man's family. The man either breaks or he goes ballistic. If I was a gambling person, which I'm not, but if I was, I would put AJ Styles firmly in the he's going to go ballistic, tear your head off, and shit down your neck camp. But I've been wrong before. So, I hope everybody enjoyed my show this week. As I mentioned, I'm sorry that I was away so long, and I'm glad to be back. If you have any questions, comments, complaints, queries, Roman Reigns' phone number. No, I'm just kidding. I am kidding about that last one because stalking is bad. Seriously, any old thing you'd like to send my way, platinumroselle@yahoo.com, and definitely, write me and give me, I'd love to hear your opinions of the shows, what you think works, what you think, doesn't work. I would love to hear all of that from you guys. If you would like to listen to the other shows that are part of our little happy family here, that would be great. One show that we have been doing, we being my guy TC and I, for over a decade, holy fuck, is Subject Cinema, which is our movie podcast where we do movie reviews and news and discussion stuff, and we try and have a lot of fun and just, be crazy. That's over at subjectcinema.com. If you or someone you know is a Supernatural fan, congratulations on having great taste. You can listen to my other show, PlatinumRosesGarden.com, which is my Supernatural podcast. You can go back and listen to my episode reviews for season 13 or later, earlier seasons if you like. We have another show with our list show, Front Row 5 and 10, which is a fun, crazy show that TC and I do as well. He has a couple of solo shows. He has Catastrophe Vortex, which is his show about disaster movies because he is a disaster movie junkie. He also has Tuesday Digidex and 3 Minute Weekend, which are his podcasts for upcoming movies, movies coming out to theaters, to pay-per-view, to DVD and stuff, so you know where to spend your money. And if you'd like to also check out some of the other members of our happy little family, you can go over to Cavebabble and listen to Eric and Valerie, who are great people. You can also check out Aunt B's Nerd Grotto on YouTube. And if you are of a dramatic frame of mind, you can listen to Manhattan Hammerdown As It Happened, which is a dramatic reading that we were all involved with. TC wrote the script for it. It's a great show, and I hope you'll go check that out as well. If you want to follow me on Twitter, I'm PlatinumRoseLady at twitter.com. If you'd like to read my fan fiction, you can go over to fanfiction.net and look me up in the author search under Platinum Rose Lady. I have a bunch of stuff over there you can check out as well. And that is going to do it for another week here on Ring Around the Rosie. I hope you enjoyed the show. I hope everybody who's ordering SummerSlam this weekend has a great time watching. And this is Kim Brown, a.k.a. Platinum Rose Lady, signing off for another week. See you guys next week.
You have been listening to Ring Around the Rosie with Kim Brown, a production of PNR Networks. Keep in touch with all things about the show at http://ringaroundtherosie.net. Ring Around the Rosie intro performed by Eric Lyon. Ring Around the Rosie theme by Digital Juice. Join Kim for a new Ring Around the Rosie every Wednesday. Ring Around the Rosie is copyright 2018 PNR Networks, Boston, Massachusetts, USA.
Podcasting's choice. From coast to coast, continent to continent, right here 24/7.
PNR.